What is up, Weeb Family? Today, we're diving deep into the realm of power within anime. From cosmic entities to mortal heroes, every series boasts its own champion of strength, but who truly stands at the pinnacle within their own universe? Let's find out. Throughout the vast landscape of anime, we've witnessed awe-inspiring displays of power, from Goku's earth-shattering transformations to Naruto's mastery of ninjutsu. You're welcome, Clover. Each protagonist brings their own unique brand of strength to the table. But unlike most power-scaling videos, we will not be forgetting the villains. Characters like Madara, the never-ending threat of Frieza, and even the enigmatic Aizen from Bleach. All of which command respect with their sheer might and cunning strategies. However, determining the most powerful character within their own anime universe isn't just about raw strength. It's about the impact they have on their world, the challenges they overcome, and the growth they undergo along the way. And to start off this series, we start with the ever-popular and ever-evolving series of Jujutsu Kaisen. The main reason I want to do JJK first is the fact that so much goes into a character's power set. For example, their total cursed energy, their cursed technique, their Jujutsu techniques, like Simple Domain or Falling Blossom Emotion. Do they have RCT? And finally, the peak of Jujutsu, their domain expansion, if they have one. In order to get the most accurate and up-to-date list, this video will contain spoilers, so be warned, anime-onlys. Today, we will cover all of this as we break down who is the strongest in the verse. Boom, amazing intro music, boom, fireworks, pow, 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 sound effects. Since there are so many characters that can stand proud knowing they are strong, we will keep this at a top 10 of characters that are still with us. As of chapter 252, that is. Video might come out a little bit after 253, so hope to God these people are all still alive. At least the ones I care about. And a last reminder, in case you missed the first one, this will contain spoilers past season 2 of the anime, all the way up to the current chapter just mentioned, 252 of the manga. And you have been warned. Number 10. Little Wee Wee. Wee Wee may not have the most cursed energy or a domain expansion, but he can use Simple Domain, and his teleportation curse technique is super useful. But really, that's it. Sorry, but unfortunately, as you know, most of our crew is just no longer with us. Oh shit, almost forgot most people's favorite thing about him. My fault, my bad. He does have a fucking baddie of a sister. The super awkward relationship, but we won't get into that. Who, yes, is stronger than him, but the fact that she has not done shit but broadcast this battle, I just can't allow her to be on this list. For any other reason. Sorry. Number 9. Ino. Another character that does not scream power, especially after his run-in with the reincarnated Toji, but let's be honest, he would have low-diffed 99% of the verse in the exact same way. So, Ino's curse technique, however, can actually provide some offense. Compared to number 10 on our list, Little Wee Wee. Ino's Auspicious Beast Summon is a form of seance technique. To use it though, Ino must cover his face with a mask, allowing him to become a medium for 4 different beasts. First, Kaichi. Kaichi creates a spike that he can launch at enemies and tracks them down like a homing missile. Right on point. Raiki covers his body in water to glide across surfaces. I might be murdering this one, but Kyron nullifies his sense of pain. Really hoping he activated this one before those consecutive normal punches Toji laid on his ass, but we'll move on. And lastly, Ryu. Ryu creates electricity around his hand to make his attacks more powerful and fast. Think a super dumbed down version of Kashimo's 1U CT Mythical Amber Beast. We recently found out he does have our fallen mentor Nanami's curse tool, and even better, his very own ratio technique is imbued into the blade. As we saw recently, it even caught Sukuna a bit off guard with how much force the attack had with a wrapped blade. Unfortunately, he has not been seen or mentioned to have a domain, but I'm still holding out hope. It actually would be pretty badass for him to assume all 4 beasts at once in his domain, or become an amalgamation of them all into one super powerful, auspicious beast. Number 8. Kusakabe. Who surprisingly enough has no innate curse technique. It is also what makes him so special. as he is the first grade sorcerer to not have one, which hints to his immense knowledge of Jujutsu in general. He is truly a master swordsman of the new shadow style technique and clearly has mastered the use of simple domain, and has also helped train and coach our boy Yuji to help use his new techniques that he has recently gained. He also survived slashes from forearm Sukuna, which is an impressive feat in itself. Not to mention, he is still in the fight and contributing against the strongest in history, in little ways, but still contributing. And I think there's still more we have yet to see from the narrator we deserve. Not necessarily the one we needed, though. Number 7. Uraume. The Ice Princess, or Prince, or who the fuck knows, is the only sorcerer Sukuna allows by his side, for whatever reason that is, as we still have not really got any details, just hints as to why that is. She has a good backpack, she cooks up people with an expertise not found in this era, and she just simply simps so hard that Sukuna keeps her around. I don't know. Their CT, though, Ice Formation, is one of the strongest elemental attacks we have seen in the series, as they are able to manipulate their ice powers without limit, and convert negative energy into positive. This CT works great for offense and defense, as we have seen since the end of the Shibuya arc. We also now know she is able to lower the temperature around her and form and control ice telepathically from the moisture and cold air in the atmosphere. She also has been seen to use reverse curse technique, which lucky for her, since Gojo punched her ass into a whole different genre when she tried to speak up to the goat without being spoken to. Pow! Should have known better. We have yet to see it confirmed or denied if they have a domain expansion, but the fact they did not seem to try and or counter Hakari's domain with one leads me to believe that they do not. Or they just knew it would not win in the tug-of-war against Hakari's unique domain. It is possible they could move up one spot depending on the results of their current battle, but we all know the gambler's fever is about to take over, and he will be dancing his way to victory if you ask me. And speaking of the gambler, number 6, Hakari. Easily a fan favorite, and one of my own, and someone that could land a few spots ahead of this once it's all said and done. His curse technique, we'll call the Fever, as it has no official name, can be used to manifest visual abilities to attack people. For example, the train doors, like when he fought Yuji after their first meeting. Like Higuruma, though, his power comes from his domain expansion, and the bonus effects that it grants him depending on the result of the domain, aka the result of a game of pachinko. As we all know, Hakari's domain is the definition of complicated, so I'll do my best to break it down. Upon first activation, he has a 1 in 239 chance of a jackpot. Upon hitting a jackpot, there's a 75% chance for him to gain increased probability of hitting another jackpot, or he is given faster spins. Either way, increasing the odds of him continuing to hit jackpots. While in the domain, those visual abilities generate in different colors, also increasing the chance of a jackpot depending on if it's green, red, or gold. The colors are up to luck, and getting the gold effect gives the highest chance of jackpot. Getting 4 consecutive colors or a rainbow effect guarantees a jackpot. After getting at least one visual ability, Hakari can choose to continue generating visual abilities to have the chance to improve his probability, but there is, of course, the risk of no improvement, hence the gambling factor. One of the coolest features is he can advance to a Richi scenario. If he hits 3 of the same scenarios, based on the scenario, the chance of jackpot increases. There are 4 scenarios that can play out, each one in order, and the chance of jackpot increases with each one, with Final Train Richi having over an 80% chance of hitting a jackpot. When progressing to a Richi scenario, Hakari may get hidden chance boosters that increase the probability of, you guessed it, a jackpot. And the reason Hakari getting a jackpot is just so goddamn important, as most of you know, it puts Hakari into literal god mode, giving him unlimited curse energy and perpetual reverse curse technique for 4 minutes and 16 seconds, making him as close to immortal as you can get in the verse. One of the biggest strengths of Hakari's domain is he can continually cast it, unlike everyone else not named Gojo or Sukuna, and each time he continues stacking probability or faster spins, all increasing his chances of continued jackpots. After chapter 253, depending on when I release this video, it may have already happened, and he may have moved up or dropped below number 7 if somehow Uraume pulls off the upset. Actually, nah, fuck that. Hakari will win, even if he loses. Number 5. Maki, aka baddest bitch in the verse. Currently, holding her own in a 1v1 with the strongest throughout any era. Which really sums it all up. Number 4. Got him. I would never do our girl dirty like that, come on. After Season 2, you were all finally introduced to the true potential of heavenly restriction through none other than the absent father of the decade, Toji Fushiguro. Surprisingly enough, both from the Zenin bloodline, which made me wonder if there was ever anyone else like them back in the Heian era or any other past era. The thing that separates Toji and now Maki from others blessed with heavenly restriction like Yuji is they have absolutely zero cursed energy, whereas most with heavenly restriction just have the increased strength, speed, and agility with a low level of cursed energy. Maki was also just like Yuji until my sacrifice, which unlocked Maki's potential and allowed her to literally run through the whole Zenin clan without breaking a sweat. And God, I cannot wait to see that animated. It will hands down be one of the best episodes of the season, with ease. Even after this though, Maki was still leagues below Toji. That is until the Culling Games, where she was then blessed with that infamous plot curse technique as 2 reincarnated sorcerers. Sorcerers may be a bit of a reach, but moving on. First was Katana Man himself, Dairo Hagane, and the sumo master, Mio Rokujishu. Throughout the battle with Cursed Naoya, Dairo teaches Maki, who, as you remember, before could not even see curses without her special glasses, that if you can see everything else, then isn't that the same as seeing everything? Damn, if only life was that easy. Just hearing some words unlocks dormant abilities, and now with her vision upgrade intact and a whole new appreciation for her katana and how to use it, we now get to the big bad sumo legend Mio, who brought Maki into his domain, which, to quickly sum it up, is pretty much like a hyperbolic time chamber, allowing him and Maki to sumo till their heart's content. And Maki walked out, not as a shadow of Toji, but as the demon reincarnated himself, which has never been more apparent as it was with the most recent chapter that showed us not only could she see unseeable slashes from Sukuna, but also that her strength and speed is on par with the one above all of the series. And although she can't possibly win, her soul-cutting attack against Sukuna has not only left its mark, but I feel will play a big role in separating his soul from Megami's body. Number 4, for now, Yuji. Yuji's recent evolution is a driving reason why I wanted to do this video. This man is clearly evolving into the Swiss fucking Arby knife of Jujutsu. In just a month, he has learned reverse curse technique, which multiple times has been referred to as one of the hardest things to learn, unless you're Higgy the Prodigy, of course. Rest in peace, homie. Also, blood manipulation, soul manipulation, and or transferring, body modification, making his arms armor-like and adding to his defense, as well as another thing to add to the list, his soul-shaking strikes, but allowed him to even communicate with Megami's soul trapped in the depths of his own body, or what I assume is his innate domain, similar to what we saw with Sukuna while he was still inside of Yuji. All I know though is Megami better wake his ass up. We got a fight to win. And of course, our MC is the king of black sparks. So you can bet your ass he will start making it rain black flashes before this fight comes to an end. And these are just the things that we have seen. Who knows what else this man ate during that month. I won't go too far into my theory crafting. I do believe he is able to utilize all these due to him finally accessing Sukuna's true curse technique. The one Gojo told him that he would eventually have due to them inhabiting the same body. And I believe through Yuji, we will finally learn what that curse technique truly is. And I know there is much more to come, especially with Sukuna going all out, as it will be Yuji that has to finally finish him off and save Megami and the rest of the world. Number 3, Kenjaku, aka Big Brain, aka one of the best villains in anime. On that note, please, Gege, give us some Many Lives of Kenjaku spin-off. That is all, thanks. Kenjaku, as we know, possesses several curse techniques. For the majority of the series, though, he mainly uses Geto's curse manipulation, that we are all very familiar with, so I'll mainly focus on his other known curse techniques, since curse manipulation is a video in itself. During his fight with Chozo and Yuki, we saw him use his gravity manipulation. That came from Kaori Itadori. aka Yuji's mom, before Kenjaku took over upstairs and downstairs, if you know what I mean. Moving on. The other confirmed curse technique is his innate one of course, body hopping or brain swapping or whatever you want to call it, which is pretty straightforward, allows you to switch bodies and absorb the host's memories and curse technique. The one curse technique we assume he has, but just has not been actually confirmed, is blood manipulation, due to his time inhabiting Noritoshi Kamo's body. The old dickhead, not the young, scared ass that caught the first flight out of Shinjuku. Although not ever used by Kenjaku during his fight with Shozo, it was shown he was immune to the poison in his blood. Could also be since he's technically his daddy, but all the more likely that he possesses the Kamo clan's inherited technique. Although Yuki assessed the brain can only hold 4 techniques without an outside storage source like Rika, but if anyone's brain can pull it off, it's this guy's. And what cements him in this spot is he has one of only 2 known domain expansions that can be used without a closed barrier. His domain expansion, called All-Enveloping Garbhadhatu, probably murdered that one, or the Womb Realm, which aside from its open barrier, we really never got a breakdown of the sure hit or anything else about it. My theory is he is able to use any of the techniques that he has had throughout his whole life. His current vessel and brain may only be able to hold those 4, but in his domain, he can activate any of them and apply the sure hit to the curse technique of his choosing. And with the look of the domain, it honestly makes the most sense. Number 2, Yuta fucking Akotsu. The man stated to be the next Gojo has, for the most part, certainly lived up to the hype, especially the way he ran through his colony during the Culling Games, and even more so in his battle against the King of Curses. Yuta's curse technique is copy, and it seems to be all but confirmed Yuta or Rika must consume part of the person to copy their curse technique. Only thing off about this that's always confused me is his use of curse speech. Unless they had some hangout where he donated a body part to Rika, hopefully soon we will get the full requirements and details actually printed on the page for us. Regardless though, we saw just how powerful Yuta was on full display as he low-diff special grades left and right and outplayed sorcerers from hundreds of years in the past, all of which had more experience, but nonetheless, the tag team champs of the Culling Games took care of each competitor that stood in their way. Yuta, as we saw since Chapter 0, also can use reverse curse technique, not only on himself, but on others as well, which has been made clear to be much harder to do. We were teased with an amazing triple domain expansion, but they all cancel each other out during the Culling Games. Luckily, in the most recent chapters, though, we finally got to see his all-encompassing love. And holy shit, in my opinion, it's the best looking and best domain overall. Yuta is able to choose any copy technique he has and set that as the sure hit for the domain. For example, he uses Angel's curse technique, Jacob's Ladder, while fighting Sukuna. Or if you were fighting somebody that was weak to curse speech, he could apply it to the curse. You could apply the sure hit to the curse speech technique, and so on. On top of this, there are infinite swords throughout the domain, and each one Yuta picks up has a random curse technique attached. Even Yuta does not know what it'll be until he grabs the katana. This element of surprise works wonders, keeping the enemy in constant defense mode, while Yuta continues to pour on the damage. On top of this, there's the obvious utilization both offensively and defensively of Rika, and all that comes with her, whether it's attacking, storing abilities, or just being a badass bitch on your side that everyone needs. And finally, number 1, Miwa. Just kidding. All jokes aside, number 1, Sukuna. For now. For this breakdown, I'm just going to call his unknown CT Shrine, as that is pretty much the consensus throughout the community, the details of which and the requirements still being unknown. Our closest comparison is from Gege's earlier work, number 9, where the MC had several boxes he would access in a similar fashion that stored different weapon sets. One thing that I don't see talked about enough, but always stuck in my head, was Megumi talking about how he can store cursed tools in his shadows. I think Sukuna's actual infatuation with Megumi was not just the 10 shadows in Maharaga, but the ability to store all of his CTs that he has collected. Due to the fact he has to stay open to access the other curse techniques, and his storage system obviously is not as easily accessible or all-encompassing as the shadows that come with the Zenin family technique. Now with things we actually know. His cleave and dismantle were most likely the first techniques he inherited or absorbed, but thanks to his Mamaraga, he now infamously has the world-cutting dismantle, that at this point, we know all too well. That we all know can even cut through Gojo's Infinity, Kashimo's Ultimate CT. He then amped it up even more when fighting Kashimo, turning it into an inescapable net of slashes, slicing anything and everything in its path. Secondly, the fire arrow. Seen to be an ability strong enough to burn the embodiment of fire and lava himself, Jogo, and was strong enough to one-shot Mamaraga as well. Up until recent events, he even had his curse tool, Kamatoke. Recreated by Yorozu after Sukuna killed her, this allowed him to summon lightning and seemingly teleport where it struck. And he had this for about 2 whole chapters, after spending several chapters amping up this gift from Yorozu and an epic delivery of said curse tool. As you can tell, I'm still a little bit salty about how all that played out, but such is a manga written by a cat. Now, to his ever-evolving domain expansion, Malevolent Kitchen. Shrine, of course, which allows him to rain down slashes on any opponents within its range. And most impressive, as we mentioned with Kenjaku's domain earlier, it is the only other domain that does not have a closed barrier. And on top of that, he can alter it on the fly, changing the range or strength of slashes depending on the targets and their ability. As Kashimo perfectly put it, he truly is beautiful, at least from a nerdy-ass jujutsu point of view. That being, his body is built for jujutsu. 2 mouths so you can chant and talk shit, 4 arms so you can make hand signs and throw hands, and multiple eyes for upgraded peripheral vision? I don't know. But everything else, pretty damn amazing. According to Uraume, we have yet to even see Sukuna go all out, which very well could change everything I'm writing next chapter, but only time will tell. Most importantly though, what is your thoughts, Weeb family? Agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments. And if you dig what we are doing here, feel free to subscribe. Go ahead and like the video if you enjoyed it and all that jazz. As always, I've been Weeb Dad. You've been the epitome of amazing. And remember, even a 4-armed stomach mouth having deity
can have Rhea's peace.